Hey folks, Nas here, coming at you with the new update that dropped just a couple days ago for the, 5.0 now, I believe it is. So we got donkeys and the blacksmith now, and quite a few other little things, and we'll go through it right here. So they've added new sounds for the rabbit trap, open and close, new donkey, new sounds for the donkey, which they added the donkey, so obviously they're going to add the sounds. They added the blacksmithing, so they got the new sounds for the forge with the bellows, and you're going to see a lot of this stuff feeding across the screen here as I'm talking about it. Once we get to the end, some of the sounds and things, I will allow those to play so you can kind of hear them a little bit better. If you haven't already heard them, if you're not on the test branch or anything like that, because the update is currently only for the test branch. Excuse me. If you are not on the test branch and you do want to get on the test branch, go to the community page for Medieval Dynasty and click on the update link. I will leave a link to that update in the description below. It also tells you how to join the test branch. So if you wanted to test this version out while it is out now before it goes to the live version, then that's how they'll tell you step by step how to do that. But anyway, let's get back into what they've added into the game. So we talked about the new sounds for the rabbit trap when it opens and closes, the donkey sounds, we got sounds for the blacksmithing, the forge with the bellows, the anvil with the hardening bucket. They've added some language, different Swedish and Dutch language, new resource deposits. We got new copper and tin, iron. Now, salt has been in the game, but salt now has its own ore, I guess you could say, or deposit. So I can actually go in the caves now and mine specifically for salt. So you walk up to the node, it actually says salt. One says copper, one says tin. Now I personally went around looking for these different ores, these nodes, deposits, and I had a really hard time finding iron. Matter of fact, I still haven't found iron. Now granted, I have my villagers that are in the mine set to mine iron, and they are getting iron, not quite as fast as they used to, because apparently iron now is more rare. So I haven't found an iron ore to show you what the iron ore looks like, unfortunately, but it is there apparently because the NPCs are getting it. Let's see, new resource items, so copper ore, tin ore, so on. We just talked about that. Of course, we got the new bronze bar and the tin bar, so we can actually craft the materials now. So you take the ore, you craft it into bars, and then of course you take a copper bar and a tin bar, and you can craft it into bronze bar, which that way you can make your bronze tools and weapons. They also offer the copper weapons as well, which is the very next thing on the list, which is new copper tools and weapons, new bronze tools and weapons, hammer, axe, hoe, shovel, the sickle, knife, scythe, arrow, bolt, spear, pickaxe. Now they don't have a copper pickaxe, they have the bronze pickaxe, and the scythe is also only in bronze, but everything else can be either copper or bronze. New animations for the NPCs working in the tavern. So they show you the new working animations for like making the bread and stuff like that. So there's a new workbench in the smithy, which is the forge. Now the forge has been in the smithy, but you didn't do anything with it. It just sat there and looked like a forge. But now you actually use the forge because that's where you're smelting your ores and your bars. New vendor presets system. So I did go around looking at some of these vendors, and these vendors, some of them have less items, so they don't offer the same things that they used to. Some vendors are no longer vendors. Some vendors are new vendors. There are several vendors that are offering more items. So along with the copper and bronze tools being added into the game, some vendors are carrying some of those copper and bronze tools along with the iron that they may have used to carry before. Also, like your tavern is also carrying a lot more items to sell as well. And now granted, those have probably come into play a little bit more with the last couple of updates with the apiary and the orchards and the new fruits and things to the game. That way you can make your wine and stuff like that and your mead. So those items are available at like the tavern vendor. So I'll be showing some of those items on the screen as we talk. Excuse me. Let's see. So the unsaved location, which used to be Raymond's place or Raymond, I'm not exactly sure how they want that pronounced, but it usually was called, or at least I usually called it, the Unnamed Village. And I'll show a picture of that on the screen. It is now got its own name, and it's actually where you buy the donkey. So they call it Tutki. If I butchered it, I'm sorry. If you can help me pronounce it, that would be great. But it's spelled Tutki, formerly known as Raymond's Home, or in my case, the Unnamed Village. Now, in adding the donkey to that location to be able to purchase the donkeys, now granted you can buy the adult or the foal, they removed the pigs. So some of you may be going, okay, well, they got the donkeys there now, but where do you get the pigs from? Well, I believe you can actually get the pigs from Rolinka. So Rolinka used to actually sell pigs and I believe chickens. They still have pigs and chickens there. I did actually go and take a look at that. Let's see. Next, I think we covered the dough will appear on the bakery shovel. So that's also part of the new animation working in the tavern. Again, I'll show that on the screen. Fish or meat will now appear on the firebox during crafting. So when you're in the tavern and you're using the firebox to cook, say, roasted meat, the meat actually, they show the raw meat sitting on the grate on the fire, which is kind of cool. Let's see, new system that generates interesting places on the map each season, such as carts with items. So I did put out a video a little bit while back about the new carts they added with the last update, I believe it was, and those locations and the items that were in those carts. Now, because of what this just said, that they added a new system that generates interesting places on the map each season. So I'm assuming that it's going to generate the interesting places like the carts, possibly in the same location, but they may not be available each season, or they won't be available each season. They'll probably rotate, and they may rotate randomly. So I'm not sure if each season the same cart will be available. So let's say summer, you've got, the cart down from Gustovia. Let's say the spring it's available. Summer it may not. Winter it may be available. That kind of a thing. But I don't know if it's going to rotate which ones are available each season. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Now, I haven't spent any time looking for these carts during the season. I've been trying to do other things to prep to make this video. And I apologize about that. But we will be covering some of those carts in a future video. And other interesting places, because it just says interesting places on the map, such as carts with items. So it doesn't specifically say it's only the carts that are going to be generated randomly each season. So I guess they're adding different places, and we'll see how that pans out. Let's see, of course, the new mount, the donkey, we've already talked about that. Can be bought in the new village, which is not new. The village isn't new. It's actually been there. It's just new with a name. Compass icons for specific vendor types. So again, I'll show a couple of little pictures. So some of the different vendors, like if you are going to the vendor that does the husbandry, takes care of the animals and stuff, they have their own little icon. If you're going to one that is some kind of a crafter or works at the forge or a workbench, then they have a little bit different icon. So it's kind of cool. So it helps you find the vendors in the town that you're looking for a lot easier, rather than just looking for the bag on the compass bar at the top of the screen. Status icons next to the NPC names when interacting with them. Now, as far as icons, I haven't noticed icons when interacting with NPC names or next to the names. What I have known is a status update, I guess you could say. There's a text below the name that will give you their mood and their personality along with their age. So I believe it used to just tell you their acceptance of you, so whether you were at 50% or 60% or whatever, and then it would tell you their age. But now I think it tells you their age, their personality, and their mood as well. It may just be mood if you're talking to your villagers. It may be something else when you're talking to another village NPC. Let's see, the forge now has a fire during crafting. Again, that's kind of cool. It really glows when you're crafting, so it glows real nicely. And the firebox in the tavern now also has fire during crafting. So those are all the things that they added to the game. Now I'll go through and I'll show you, or actually let you hear, some of the different sounds that they did add to the game. So, like, for instance, the new sound for the rabbit trap opening and closing. So here's that sound. Now, while we were talking about the donkey, you may have heard some of the sounds for the donkey, but again, I'll let you listen to some of the donkey sounds. Alrighty, folks, that is everything that they've added to the game. It all sounds very interesting. I know that I've had a very interesting day today trying to prep for this, going through to see how it's been affecting my Season 1 village that I've been working on, which I'm also working on trying to bring you guys a video update about my village, because I know that a lot of you are waiting to see how I have done a lot of my village rebuilding that I put out a few videos about, and I apologize that I haven't put one out recently about that, but I am working on one. But I did have quite a day today, going through, checking out my management. I think I actually went and I bought all of the recipes, the crafting recipes that I hadn't bought, and I think I spent close to 30,000 coin when I did that today, just because I finally said, okay, I'm going to buy them all. That way I don't have to worry about it later. I can craft anything I wanted to. I could tell my villagers to craft anything I wanted to. I had the money, had the coin. I had like 48,000 coin already, so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and buy them and get it done with. Bought the donkey today, so I got all of that done. But anyway, if you folks found this video helpful in any way, definitely click that like button. It helps the video quite a bit to put it out in front of people just like yourself that would enjoy this as well. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. I would greatly appreciate it. Again, if you guys want to join the Discord server, then the link is in the description below. We'd love to have you over there. And we will see you folks in the next one. You take care and happy hunting.